starting off the look by color correcting my dark circles, and I'm doing so with the only way that I know how for the time being, with the Becca Brightening Corrector. I am receiving new ones this week, so I cannot wait to try them out, since a lot of brands are coming out with this new kind of hyped up product for the year, which is just color correcting. Everyone's doing it. Sephora seems to really be pushing it, and I am all about the color correcting because whatever's going to correct my dark circles, I'm on board. For now, this is it. Next, moving on to foundation, I am applying the Naked Skin Weightless Foundation from Urban Decay. This is the shade 4, and I'm doing so by just patting it all around the face using my F80 from Sigma. This is an oldie but goodie. I really like this brush. I used the Beauty Blender the very first time that I applied this foundation onto my face, but it almost seemed like it's so weightless and liquidy that a lot of it was being absorbed by the Beauty Blender, even though it was damp. So I didn't like that, and that is why whenever I use this foundation, I use my F80 Kabuki brush from Sigma. This brush for me does apply foundation really nicely. Almost gives you that same airbrush finish that you would get with a Beauty Blender, which is why sometimes I will still use this for foundation. For concealer, I am using the Naked Skin Weightless Concealer from Urban Decay as well. Everyone has been talking them up, and so I decided to give them a try, and I actually really did like it. I didn't want to like it just because I figured that everybody was just jumping on a bandwagon because it seemed to be the popular thing to do, but it really is a good weightless concealer. It doesn't really feel like anything. It covers up a lot, as you can see. Like, my face kind of looks a little ghostly right now, but it lasts throughout the day. It covers up a lot. It is literally full coverage concealer, and you don't really feel it. So if you have yet to try this concealer, the Naked Skin Concealer from Urban Decay, like I mentioned, jump on that bandwagon because you will absolutely love it. And I'm simply just going to be blending this out using my handy dandy Beauty Blender. Once I was done blending underneath my eye, I brought whatever product was left on the Beauty Blender itself, and I placed it onto my lid. Because I am going to be working with pretty light colors, I wanted to, cover up the natural pigment on my lids. Otherwise, nothing would really show up, and me applying shadows would be completely pointless. And then, of course, using my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, I applied some of that under the eye in order to set the concealer and prevent any creasing. And then moving on to brows, using this Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. This is in the color dark brown, and I have to fill in my brows just simply because, as you can tell, I have brows, but they're just really super light in color. So if I skip this step, it almost looks like I really don't have any. So I cannot skip. Next, I'm moving on to the brow gel. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills again, and I love to set my brows with a brow gel because otherwise, even though I don't have like very dark hair on my brows, I still have hair on my brows, and it does move around. And if you get really close to me, you can see the hair is kind of just getting a little crazy. This prevents that, so applying that. Using the Manny and Makeup Geek palette, I am grabbing the color Beaches and Cream first in order to apply that onto my entire lid area. Since I did apply concealer onto my lid, I don't want that to crease or to go anywhere. So this will definitely help set that, and it will also help with the blending process. So just applying that onto my entire lid from lash to brow bone. Next, I'm grabbing the color Sora with my blending brush and just applying that onto my crease. And of course, this is also going to work as like a transition shade, and so it's also going to go right above the crease. And then just buffing that and blending that back and forth into my crease and into the outer portion of my crease. And since it is a pretty big blending brush, it also grabs above my crease. So just going back and forth in windshield wiping motions and also circular like buffing motions. Using a more precise blending brush, I'm grabbing the color Frappe from the palette and applying that onto my crease. But I'm concentrating most of the product on the outer portion of the crease, so like along the outer V. And then whatever's left, I'm dragging it into the crease and just building the color up to my liking like I always do. So you can go really light with this, or you can go pretty heavy with this. The color is gorgeous and it's going to look beautiful day or night. And then I went back in with my initial blending brush, but this time I grabbed some Beaches and Cream and just kind of diffused those colors on my lid. I wanted to soften them up since this is going to be, or this is intended to be, like a daytime spring look. So I went back with the Beaches and Cream in order to diffuse it and also to blend out any of the lines that I had going on. And then with Beaches and Cream, once again, I'm grabbing that with my ring finger and applying it onto my entire lid area. But I'm making sure to stop right below the crease so that I'm not hiding, any of the browns that I have going on along the crease, which I absolutely love. Next, using the Inglot gel liner in 77, which is just super duper black, super dark, I'm going to be applying a pretty thin line onto my eyes. And I'm staying really close to the lash line, making sure that I don't thicken it up because it can get thick really quickly if you're not careful with it. So just taking my time and applying a pretty thin line. I wanted to make this, daytime appropriate, and I know that even though I loved wing lines, not everybody does for the daytime at least. And so this is just thought to add a little tiny line onto the top portion of your eye, and it'll really change the look. Next, using the Smashbox contour palette, I'm taking the contour shade and applying a tiny bit of contouring onto my cheekbones using my Beauty Blender. And then, of course, turning my Beauty Blender over in order to blend upward and make the contour just look a little bit more natural. Using the bronzer from the same palette, I went ahead and I added some more color onto my face because I was looking a little bit too light for my liking. And then just applying that onto the temples and of course around like the cheekbone area in order to just warm up the face a little bit. Then using Clinique's Cheek Pop in Ginger Pop, I'm going to be applying that onto the apples of my cheeks and then working that back on my cheeks. Using the Laura Mercier 01 highlight and this kind of a tapered brush, I'm going to be applying that onto my cheekbone area, the tip of my nose, and my Cupid's bow. For mascara, I'm going to be using 3 different products in order to really build up length and volume. I'm starting off with the Estee Lauder Little Black Primer. You can opt out of wearing a primer. I just personally prefer it. I personally think it does make a difference on my lashes. And so I always apply that first before I move on to mascara. For today, I'm using the Sumptuous Extreme Mascara, also from Estee Lauder. I love this stuff for volume. It really does build up volume on my lashes. However, the length, it gives me a little bit more length, but not a whole heck of a lot, which is why I also add the Roller Lash Mascara from Benefit, because this absolutely gives me length. I'm going to work on a drugstore combo that I can come up with for you guys so that you have options without breaking the bank. Since this eye look is so neutral, I decided to go ahead and show you guys 3 different lip colors for this particular look. This is a Too Faced Melted Lipstick Trio that I was gifted for Christmas, and it was from my beautiful mother-in-law. She knows me, absolutely. Anyway, starting off with the Melted Nude one, which is just an actual true nude tone. Next, you have this beautiful pink, which I think is perfect for spring, and this is in the shade Melted Peony. And last but not least, we have this beautiful, beautiful, kind of like a purpley pink color, and this is in the shade Melted Fig, which almost matches my shirt, and I swear that was not intentional. So that is it, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!